What a month March has been for us so far, and it is still not over. March 2025 will go down in the books as the most historical time ever. During this month, we have experienced three major planetary aspects and one lunar eclipse. And as we get ready to close out the month, we have one more week left. And this Saturday, we are going to close out the month with the final climax. And that is the solar eclipse, the first solar eclipse of the year happening on March 29th. Hi, my name is Audra, and I am your astrologer from Audra Faith Astrology. And I work with the Western astrology system using tropical, whole, and equal signs. And in this video, you're going to want to listen for your sun sign, your rising sign, and your moon sign. The month of March, like I was saying, has amazing aspects that have happened this month. I don't know what you have experienced, but we're going to jump right into it. And before we do, let me just explain to you what has happened in the month of March. Come March 1st, the first aspect that took place was the planet Venus went into retrograde. It stationed retrograde in the zodiac or the constellation of Aries. Venus is the planet that brings us love. It's all about what brings us love. It's how we build our relationships. It's what brings us pleasure. It is how we like to enjoy things, the finer things in life. And when it's in the constellation of Aries, remember, Aries is a fire sign. It's all about spring. It is the flowers that need that burst of energy. We're coming out of Pisces season. What is Pisces? Pisces is that dampness, okay? And during the dampness, before the dampness, we had winter. So everything, the lands were barren. People are coming out of the snow. And so it's just cold and stagnant. And then when you get into Aries, the sun is warming everything up. There is fire in the air. It's a fiery constellation that brings in all of this Aries energy. Okay. When Venus goes there, which is what happened, Venus went into Aries and it stationed retrograde on March 1st. Then it just makes everything very fiery as far as relationships. It just speeds us up. Okay. Then on March 13th, approximately, depending where you are in the world, March 13th was the eclipse, the first lunar eclipse of the year. We have 4 eclipses every year. And we had the first lunar eclipse March 13th, and that was in the sun sign the constellation of Virgo. So Virgo, um, basically what we saw with this eclipse was this actual whole week was a start of endings. So there's closing of chapters. There is we might have somebody might have died during that time. Just going in a new direction with closing of chapters, losing jobs. Just different things were happening on the 13th. Then on the 15th, the next planet that went into retrograde was Mercury. And Mercury is the planet that rules communication, how we process information. It rules transportation, bikes, cars, driving. It rules the office. It rules all the supplies. And that planet went into retrograde. And when things go into retrograde, basically what happens, it's kind of like when you get in a car and you're trying to take off and you're trying to get to your destination, but then all of a sudden the car just starts cutting donuts and it's just going in circles. So basically, that's what it looks like from our vantage point, is that the planet Mercury went into retrograde, which causes us to have to go back and reevaluate things. Sometimes papers are not going to get processed, contracts, or if you put in an application, or it rules communication, it rules telephones, it rules so for example, for me, I was working on some recordings and things got cut off because of the Mercury retrograde. We're in a Mercury retrograde and this will last through for about 3 weeks. Okay. It's going to go through, it started on March 15th and it's going to go approximately to April 7th. The Venus retrograde will go a little bit longer. It started on the 1st. This is a Venus retrograde causes us to reevaluate our relationships, friendships, our spouses, partnerships, business relationships. So that's what Venus retrograde is causing us to look at and evaluate. And Mercury retrograde is causing us to, you don't want to buy a car, because if you buy a car during a Mercury retrograde, the car might turn into being a lemon. So if you're needing to make a big purchase right now, cell phones, cars, transportation, just anything like that, hold off. I would say hold off. Okay. And then the next we're having five major planetary aspects that is just really just, I mean, we're seeing like lots of stuff happen. The last time all of this energy pretty much was in Aries was the time of the assassination of President Kennedy and the Vietnam War. Okay, that was the last time we saw some of the energy, not all of it. Now we have five constellations, like I said, five different planetary aspects that we're seeing like major things happening in our lives, and we probably won't see it, especially with the last one. So before we get to the last one, let me talk about the 29th, March 29th. That's happening this week, you guys, at the end of the week, closing out the month, almost at the end of the month. That is our first solar eclipse. Now, these eclipses, both the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, they usually last between, the effects of it will last 3 to 6 months. So on Saturday, March 29th, that solar eclipse is going to go and change so many things in our lives. And depending where it is on your chart, we will talk about that coming up. Now, the March 30th aspect that we're going to be seeing and experiencing on the 30th, on Sunday, as we get ready to close out the month, is the planet Neptune. Now, this is what I was talking about. We have never seen the planet in our lifetime. We have never seen the planet Neptune go into Aries. Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces. It rules the sea. It's about, the illusion. It's about, and it is very happy in Pisces, so it's very comfortable. But now that it's leaving Pisces, because it has been in Pisces for the last 14 years, it is now getting ready to go into a fire sign. It has been very happy and comfortable in Pisces. Now on March 30th, it is getting ready to go into a fire sign. And this we have not seen, my friends, since 1860. That was the last time Neptune went into Aries. Get ready. We are wrapping up a huge planetary crazy month. And basically, these changes they're going to set us up for the next 6 months. And these are just something that we need to get us going. And we need this Aries energy. We need this Aries energy because it's just time to move on. It's not the end of the world. It is the end of a certain period of our life. We have new chapters, and all because we need to evolve in a certain way. And that evolving, it all depends on where it falls on your chart, on your natal chart. All right, so let's go into it. Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Get ready for a big time frame for you. If anything, March 2025 horoscopes is going to impact Aries the most. It will also impact everyone else wherever Aries falls in the constellation on your natal chart. So, on March 1st, Venus went into retrograde. Venus rules our Aries people. It rules your second house, which is the constellation of Taurus, and it also rules your seventh house, which is the constellation of Libra. So, for all of our Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising people, you might be experiencing Venus, which rules love, relationships. You might be needing to go back over things in a partnership or just anything that you own. You might be needing to revisit what you own, like if something, like if say you bought, a Tesla, you might be needing to go take the Tesla to the shop because it needs to have some maintenance work done to it, or just something's coming up with it. It also rules your money. So Venus rules your money house. You might be, either getting a raise, or there might be a question about your salary, or you might be looking at, you might be thinking you want to, look for a different job or different work, because Venus is all about your income in your second house. Now, it also rules your partner house, which is ruled by Libra. Venus rules Libra. And so you might be, going over things in your partnership, either in a business partnership or in a relationship. Okay, on March 13th, we experienced our first lunar eclipse. And for our sun, moon, and rising Aries people, this would have been in the area of your sixth house, so work. And so if that lunar eclipse could have brought up some shifts, like you might have had like a setback at your daily routines, or if you had to deal with a subordinate, or your health. If you have a health issue come up, there might have been a health issue come up. Then also it affects pets. So there could have been something coming up with your pets around March 13th timeframe. And this this eclipse typically lasts between 3 to 6 months. So this is all going to be playing out for the next 3 to 6 months of you having to go back over things in the area of your work. Okay. March on March 15th, the planet Mercury went into retrograde, and this is the area of you for our rising Aries people. This would have affected your third house, which is family, cousins, siblings, neighbors, how you think, how you process information. It's your local environment. You might be. It's also business interactions. It's also your local community things, doing whatever you do there. And so that Mercury retrograde is causing you to go back and reevaluate things. Because remember what I said a retrograde is? Retrograde is when you're driving and then all of a sudden it just starts going in circles and it just won't go into its direction. The Mercury retrograde will be over in 3 weeks. Okay. On March 29th, we will have our first solar eclipse of the year. And on March 29th, this solar eclipse is going to happen in your actually it's going to happen in your sign. So that solar eclipse is going to happen in your sun sign, which is going to be you at how you present yourself to the world. So this eclipse, get ready. You might be looking at some big physical changes or just a whole new chapter after March 29th. Okay. March 30th, this is the big one for Aries people. Neptune. Neptune is going to go into your sign. We have not seen the planet Neptune in Aries since 1860. Okay. This is going to be a huge turning point for Aries people, sun, moon, and rising, and for all of us, wherever it lays in our chart. Neptune, we have never seen Neptune in Aries in our lifetime. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising. On March 1st, Venus went into retrograde, and this would have affected you in your 12th house. Now, because Venus is the ruling planet for Taurus, it also affected us. By the way, I am a sun in Taurus. So it would have affected us, Taurians, not only in our first house, but in not only in the 12th house, but in our first house. So 12th house is where we sleep. It's where it rules institutions like asylums, prisons, hospitals. It also rules the bedroom. And so because Venus went into retrograde, this would affect all of those areas depending on any of this, if any of this plays out in your life. And because Venus is the ruling planet for Taurus, Taurus is a stable planet. And when Venus goes into retrograde, we are reevaluating our relationships, our friendships, our what brings us pleasure. It also it rules the area of sleep because that is where the Venus retrograde went into our 12th house. And so I don't know if you've had any issues with sleep, like if you had to take any sleeping medication, or you might have had some visions come to you because of that sleep area, just little things like that. And Venus also rules it rules Libra, which falls for the Taurians. It falls in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It falls in the area of your sixth house. So make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So it would have affected the sixth house area for the Taurians, which would have you question, how you're getting up and going to work every day, any routines that you might have established. You might have been thinking, okay, it's probably time for me to work out again, or just questioning why you can't get it going. There's a retrograde, so remember what the retrogrades are. The retrogrades are all about going back over things, and we just can't go because this came up or that came up. So Venus retrogrades also can bring back old past relationships. So you might run into a friend you haven't seen in a while, or an ex, and that ex might be reaching out to you, or somehow or another that you saw them or the conversation came up, and you're just like, why am I talking to this person, or why are they talking about that person? That's just weird. So that would be a Venus retrograde affecting the Taurians. And then the March 13th first lunar eclipse would have impacted the Taurians um, in the Virgo house, which would have been your house of creativity, house of where your children, something might have come up for a child of yours, something to the effect of home and family, as far as like just old memories might be coming up, or just things of how you create things, because it's your fifth house. So it's all about creative, it's about dating, it's about going out to the restaurants. So there's a Mercury retrograde happening in that aspect. Then on March 29th, the solar eclipse that's going to happen in Aries will impact the Taurians in the area of the 12th house. So Taurians will experience the eclipse in the area of the bedroom, or in a faraway country, or asylums or prisons. Something's going to come up with that topic. Okay. So it just depends on what is going on in your lives. And then on March 30th, Neptune's going to go into Aries. And basically, the area of the Taurians' lives is also the 12th house. So again, Neptune is the planet that deals with illusions. It also deals with the ocean, faraway lands, and it's camera, it's photography, it's whatever can help you escape. Neptune is the planet that helps people escape from reality, and so you'll see that come up for Taurians. All right, all the best to you, Taurians. One last thing I forgot to mention for the Tauruses. So, Mercury retrograde that happened on March 15th, that would have also impacted Tauruses or Taurians in the area of your money house, because Mercury rules your money. So, you might be thinking about, you know, maybe finding another way to earn your money, because you're the ruling planet for the area of your money is Mercury. Mercury is all about the merchant. It's about the businessman, it's the salesman. You could be thinking about maybe doing a part-time job, or just questioning whether or not the way you're receiving your income is the way you want to continue. So the issues of money is coming up for us as Tauruses, of whether or not we want to continue earning the income this way. But that Mercury retrograde caused us to think about these things. And I basically, I just wanted to remind you that the Mercury retrograde would have also affected your money house, along with the area of the area of how you create, how you play, where you go out to eat, where you go to restaurants. You might be just reevaluating how you're eating, or just kind of stuck, like it's like, because Taurus is, it's the stable energy, and we usually like to eat the same things. So because Mercury's in retrograde, we're having I don't know if you're having issues with, you're not wanting to eat the same things again, and so it's your money, it's your food, it's also your teeth. You might have had maybe like an uncomfortable area of your mouth, where you might have been thinking, okay, could that have been a pain? Like, okay, don't tell me I just got my teeth cleaned. So just those kinds of things would have come up. Gemini sun, moon, and rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. Now, Venus is the planet of love and pleasure, and it is currently in the 11th house for Geminis, for rising Geminis. The 11th house is a very social house. So, this is the area where we are involved in clubs, groups, associations. It is where we know many people, we're involved with many friends, and the planet Venus went into retrograde in that area of your life, which for me, I am a rising Gemini. So this is an area that is causing us to rethink our groups, our social platforms, any clubs that we might be involved in. And so that retrograde is just causing us to rethink everybody, whether or not we want to continue with these people or completely switch over. So, for example, for me, I am a Gemini rising, and I am completely disconnecting from my Facebook. I started doing that, I think, towards the end of last month, and have really just um I just I'm getting on my social platforms a lot less, and really just focused on my YouTube channel. So for your Gemini risings, that's where it's going to affect many of us. And then Venus is the ruling planet that rules our for the Gemini rising. It's going to rule our fifth house, as well as our our 12th house. So the Venus that rules the area that how it rules our fifth house, that is going to impact us as far as our date, where we like to play, where we like to go out and have, go to restaurants, whether it's going to affect our children, how we're very competitive, how we like to create things. So that Venus retrograde is just having us rethink a lot of these things. We're going back over this kind of stuff. We might be remembering old pastimes, old friend, old playing routines, or sports if we played any, or just however you like to create crafts. You might be talking about that, and then it's causing you to reevaluate some things. Issues might be coming up with your children. So basically that's what the Venus retrograde is doing. And then the March 13th, um, we had the first lunar eclipse, and that would have impacted the rising Geminis in the area of Virgo, which is home and family. So ancestry issues might be coming up. We might be thinking about some hearing or remembering some issues from the past, from our childhood, or family and past time with our families, for the mother's home or your own home kind of thing. So those issues are coming up about that time frame. And for the next 3 to 6 months, we're having to do some healing in that area. And then as um, the Mercury also rules not only does it rule our home and family, which is the fourth house, but it also rules our rising sign. So we are also rethinking who we are as far as our identity. And so that retrograde is just having us question, like, are we on the right path? That kind of thing. And so we're going to see all that play out for the next 3 to 6 months. And then on March 29th, we're going to see that solar eclipse happen in the area of the Aries constellation, which is for a rising Gemini. It is in our 11th house. And again, that is groups, friends, associations, clubs. It's also our hopes and wishes. It's also how we, if we want to continue or, do any investments. So that solar eclipse is going to bring some major catapulting changes in that area of our life, where we're going to see those things play out for the next 3 to 6 months. And right now, with these two planets in retrograde and the two eclipses, things are just kind of on hold. They're stirring up because they're all, those three planets are all in the constellation of Aries, which is that fire sign. Okay. Now on March 30th, the Neptune goes into Aries, and it's going to enter in the rising Gemini's area of life, which is that 11th house. And that, again, that's hopes, wishes, other people, friends, clubs, groups, and associations. So where that impacts us is that when Neptune goes into that area, we have never seen it in that area of our life in our lifetime. That can bring, think about what the planet is. Neptune again is all about illusions. It's all about delusions. It's all about the camera. It's about photography. It's about film. So for me, as y'all know, I've been I've been active on YouTube for the past 4 months. So it's going into that house of hopes, wishes. This could be the chance that my YouTube channel is about to get monetized. So that's what it is for me. That's what I feel. And in the next 6 months, we will see this play out. I feel like, yes, I'm going to hit I haven't checked my subscriber count today. I know that before I started working on this content this afternoon, I was just two away from hitting 1,000. But like I said, Neptune going into Aries is going to be in a magical time. It's going to be a pioneering time. We have never seen Neptune in the sign or into the constellation of Aries in our lifetime, because it's been more than 164 years. I believe it was 1860 was the last time that Neptune was in Aries. So this is going to be a magical time for many people. Chapters will be closing, new beginnings will be starting, and we're going to see all this play out for the next 6 months. All right, all the best to all my fellow Geminis, Sun, Moon, and Risings. Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. And where this would have happened would have been in your 10th house. The 10th house is your area of career, your public image, how you want to be seen, how you want to be recognized. And when Venus goes there, it's all about what brings you love and pleasure. You might be wanting to make things beautiful, or you might be wanting to change careers completely. So Venus has you thinking about these things, and the area that Venus rules on your chart is, it also rules your 11th house, your house of hopes and wishes. It also rules the area of one, two, three, four. It also rules your home and family. So Venus going through there, you might be wanting to make things beautiful at home. Um, on March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this was in the constellation of Virgo. And that would have impacted you in your third house, which you might be dealing with some transportation issues, or you might be thinking, having some issues with your siblings. You could be having some issues come up within the neighborhood or in your community. You could also be dealing with, like I said, transportations, bikes, that kind of thing. On March 15th, Mercury went into retrograde, and this would have been affecting you in your career house as well. So, any contracts that have been signed or just any applications, you have to go back and get one more document for work. So, things are coming up about that. Or if you sent an email, the email, they may have not received that that communication, or there might have been a lost document. And so just those kinds of things. And then on March 29th, that's coming up at the end of this week, we're having our first solar eclipse, and that will be in the constellation of Aries. And again, for our rising cancers, sun, moon, and rising cancers, this is the area of your work. You may be having some kind of career change that's going to impact you for the next 6 months. You might be seeing some signs of that this coming Saturday, or there might be that opportunity coming up that's if it hasn't shown its face now, it'll show its face by this weekend, if not by Monday, and you'll be thinking of me. All right. On March 30th, that will be this weekend as well, we will see Neptune also go into your career house. Neptune enters Aries on March 30th. We've never seen it in our lifetime in the constellation of Aries. And so we get ready, because Neptune in your career house will take a long time to stir things up and cause you to rethink and go in a new direction. Now, I will tell you, Neptune actually went into my career house. And when it did that, I was actually teaching. So I had to deal with Neptune go through there for a long time. And it's very interesting because it finally eased up and um, left my career home, and now it's getting ready to go into my area of hopes and wishes. So, all right, cancers, I wish you all the best, and I hope you have a great rest of the month of March, and hopefully you'll stay tuned for the next report. Leo, sun, moon, and risings. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde, and the area that would have affected you would have been, well, is in your ninth house. Now, the ninth house deals with higher learning. It deals with politicians. It deals with the church. It deals with um, worldly travel, worldly information, and where it also deals with higher institutions. So you might be thinking about studying, or you want to change your major or your focus of study. You may be thinking, I don't know if I want to continue in this field. So that Venus retrograde is stirring things up, and in the next 3 to 6 months, you'll figure this out. On March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this would happen to you in your second house, which deals with your things, your money, your possessions, how you earn your income. So that lunar eclipse has you thinking about things, and like I said, we'll be seeing this all play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Now, on March 15th, we had the Mercury retrograde, and this would have impacted you in your ninth house. Again, the ninth house deals with higher learning. It deals with long distance travel. It also deals with the father. So, any issues with in those areas, you might be thinking about those kinds of things. Then on March 29th, that's coming up at the end of this week, we have our first solar eclipse, and this is in the air in the constellation of Virgo. Now, for our rising sun, moon, and risings, this will happen for you in your second house. I'm sorry. Um, it's going to happen in the ninth house, again with the other two planets, which is the Venus retrograde and the Mercury retrograde. That solar eclipse will happen in that area of your life. So you may decide that, you got to make a big change. And that will happen again on March 29th. And again, we'll be seeing all of that energy play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Um, Issues with the father may come up. Um, you might have, like I said, a whole, not career change, but a change of educational studies, or you might also take a long distance trip. So March 30th, we'll be having Neptune go into Aries. And again, that is in your ninth house. So when Neptune goes there, remember the planet Neptune is all about illusions, delusions. It dissolves things. It kind of makes things go from, it's not neither black or white, but it's in the middle. It's gray. So pretty much that's what we have for our Leos, sun, moon, and risings. If you have any questions, or um, you want to share, if any of this resonates, please put that in the comments. Give me a like. And that is a wrap. I wish you all the best, my sun, moon, and rising Leos. Virgo's sun, moon, and rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. And where this would have affected you would have been in your eighth house. Eighth house is all about our partner's resources, it's taxes, it's real estate, it's also insurance, inheritance. So there might be a question of those kinds of things, contracts. On March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this would have affected you in your first house. So you might be going through a image remakeover. You might be wanting to change your wardrobe. You might be wanting to look at shopping for different clothes, or just looking at different styles. And then on March 15th, we had our first on March 15th, we had our Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is your ruling planet, is the key to your chart. So the Mercury retrograde is just, things are just going in circles, and you feel like you just can't go. There's so many things you want to do as you're going over all these different ideas in your head. Mercury is the fast thinking planet. And because Virgo is the planet of perfection, you want to just go over and over, and I mean, this energy is just driving you crazy. And don't worry, by the time we get to the middle of April, Mercury will finally station retrograde, actually by April 26th. So just hang on, keep going over things, take your time, continue to do the planning. And, there's still some more information you're having to look for as you get ready for a new chapter. On March 29th, once we wrap up this week, we're going to experience our first solar eclipse, and this will be affecting you as well, because it's going to be in the area of Aries in your eighth house. So that solar eclipse, get ready. It's a new beginning, a closing of chapters. So there'll be a huge shift happening on March 29th. And this all is going to play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Come April, we will all see how this plays out for us. March 30th, we have Neptune also going into Aries. And again, for my sun, moon, and risings, Virgos, this is going to happen in your eighth house. Again, eighth house is all about our partner's resources. It's about death, taxes, inheritances. It could be insurance. So those kinds of things are going to be coming up for you. If any of this resonates, please put that in the comments. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you want to hear more of this information. Moon and rising Virgos, I forgot to say, I wish you all the best. May you have a wonderful March and a great start to April. I look forward to hearing if any of this impacts you and how your new chapter changes. All the best, y'all. Libra, sun, moon, and rising. March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. This would have affected you in the area of your seventh house. The seventh house is all about partnerships, relationships, contracts, business relationships. And so on March 1st, there was a question about these things that might have come up, revisiting topics, revisiting patterns in those areas. Now, on March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this would have impacted you in the area of your 12th house. The 12th house is all about the area where we sleep at, the bedroom. It's also asylums. It's also retreats, it's hospitals, it's prisons, institutions, as those kinds of things. So if any of that came up, that would be playing out for the next 3 to 6 months. On March 15th, we had Mercury going in station retrograde, and that Mercury retrograde will last for until April 26th. Mercury is the planet that rules the area, your ninth house, um, as well as your 12th house. All right. On March 29th, at the end of this week, we will see the first solar eclipse, and that is going to impact you in your seventh house as well. And again, the seventh house is about partnerships, business relationships, contracts. And so that solar eclipse will be shedding some light on some things that energy will play out the whole process will play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Now, on March 30th, this coming Sunday, Neptune goes into Aries. We have not seen Neptune in the constellation of Aries in our lifetime. This will be a historical moment. And for you, my dears, the area will be affecting you in the seventh house as well. All right. I wish all my fellow Libras, Sun, Moon, and Risings all the best. If any of this resonated for you, please give me a like, subscribe to my channel, or share this video with anyone you think might need to hear some of this information. All the best to y'all. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. Now, this Venus retrograde would have stirred things up for you as far as affecting your area of the sixth house. Sixth house is all about how we get up and go to work. It is our subordinates. It is our pets. It is any health issues or diseases that might have come up. That Venus retrograde might be having you have to not be able to get to work on time. Things are coming up. It's just you're just having to go over things like redirect, or there's just some friction or something like that is going on in the work environment, or just your regular routines, your regular get up and go every day routine. On March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and that was in the constellation of Virgo, and this would have affected you in the 11th house. 11th house is all about our friends, our friend group, our hopes and wishes, our clubs, associations, our investments. And that lunar eclipse is just how it just put things on a whole new trajectory. March 15th, we had the Mercury retrograde, and that would have affected you in your sixth house. And again, Mercury retrograde is, it's wanting to go straight, but the planet is just going round and round. So you're having to pull up information to get ready for your area of work. Get up and go every day. You might not just can't go. So your things are not going in your favor. And unfortunately, the effects of this will play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Then on March 29th, we will have that solar eclipse this coming Saturday. That's what we'll be ending the month with. It is our first solar eclipse. And again, this is also happening in your sixth house. So get ready. Major changes are going to be happening. And like I said, this will play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Then on March 30th, we have Neptune going into Aries. And again, this is going to be in your sixth house. So again, come April, we are going to be seeing that area of your work, get up and go, pets, any health issues, and all that energy is going to play out for the next 3 to 6 months. But with Neptune there, Neptune's going to be in your sixth house for the next 12 years. So, all right, I wish you all the best, my sun, moon, and rising Scorpios. I hope this information helped you. If you have any questions, put those in the comments. If any of this resonated, please give me a like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would appreciate it. And I wish you all the best. Bye. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. The area that would have affected you at would have been in your fifth house. The fifth house is all about how we play, how we romance, how we create things, how we like to go out to eat. It would have reflected high school, or if you're teaching, It is the most creative area of our charts. And that Venus retrograde is having you rethink the way you do things, the way you like to play. If you're competitive, that would have also come up. It's also how you date in your dating life. And that Venus retrograde is having you go back over things. So, there might have been somebody old come back into your life, and you're questioning, these things. Then on March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this lunar eclipse would have affected you in your 10th house. This is how you're seen in the public arena, how you want to be known. So that lunar eclipse, these questions would be coming up about where you're going and the direction you're going in your life. I mean, I don't know if that was something that might have come up for you. And this will all play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Now, on March 15th, we had Mercury go into retrograde, and that Mercury retrograde will last 3 months. And this would have impacted you in the area of your fifth house. And again, this is how you like to play, how you like to compete, your children, anything issues with the child, with the child. And, you might be needing to see them go off to do something. So there might be a change in that, or they're needing another document. And then on March 29th, coming up as we end the month, or in the last week of March, we will have our first solar eclipse. And this will be impacting you again in your area of the fifth house, which deals with children, which deals with play, creative juices, just, restaurants, that kind of thing, going out, your dating scene. So that solar eclipse is going to bring in some major shifts and changes on that will play out for the next 3 to 6 months. Then on March 30th, as we get ready to end the month, one day before, Neptune goes into Aries, and we have never seen Neptune in the constellation of Aries. So get ready for a new change. This will happen in your fifth house. Again, this might be something related to one of your children, your creative projects, just anything that you're working on, dating life, going out to eat, restaurants, environments, high schools, if you're a teacher, that kind of stuff. You'll be seeing all that energy play out right in that area of your chart. Okay, all the best. I wish all the best to my fellow Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Risings. May everything work out for y'all, and I wish you many blessings. Please like if any of this resonated for you. Please give me give me a thumbs up. Share this video if you know of anyone who'd benefit from listening to this, and also subscribe to my channel. I wish you all the best. Bye. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. And where this would have affected you was in the area of your fourth house. The fourth house deals with home and family. Okay. This Venus retrograde is questioning whether or not you're needing to continue to live in the same home, real estate. You might be needing to move, relocate. So something to that matter came up, or it just was a question that was coming up for you. And then on March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this would have impacted you in the area of your ninth house. The ninth house deals with long distance travel. It deals with higher education. It deals with politics or politicians. It deals with comedy. It deals with foreign travel, like I said. So that lunar eclipse would have set those things off and those ideas, even studying. Then on March 15th, we had our Mercury go into station retrograde, and that retrograde is going to be lasting for the next 3 weeks. It will be over by April 26th. And then on March 29th, we will have the first solar eclipse of the year, and this will be impacting you in the area again of your fourth house. And then on March 30th, we have Neptune enter Aries, and this, my friends, we have not seen it in our lifetime. So March 30th, Neptune goes into Aries, and we will see this affect you, my fellow Capricornians, in the area again of home and family. So this will be there for the next 14 years. And so this will be affecting your home, your residence. You might be moving out to the ocean, or if you're already living there, you'll be closer to the water. you might have a better home environment. The Neptune is all about like transformation. It is like that. It's the planet of delusion or illusion. So there might be it's going to be a magical time with that Neptune in Aries. So we have not seen it in our lifetime ever in the constellation of Aries. And for many of you, you might be finding a better home. A lot of great things are going to be coming up for you in the area of home and family. So I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best, my Capricorn friends, sun, moon, and rising. If any of this resonated, please give me a like. Please make sure to share this if you know of anyone who could relate to this. And if you haven't subscribed, please do so you can get the next horoscope reading. Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde, and the area that it would have affected you would have been in your third house. Now, the third house is all about our siblings, our neighbors. It is about local, it's about transportation, it's about how we learn things, it's about how we process information. And it's also publishing, writing. It's about just, everything that's local. Okay. So um, on March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse happen, and this would have happened for you in your eighth house. Now, the eighth house is all about other people's resources, it's about your partner's resources, it's about taxes, inheritance, it's about contracts, and it's about signing legal documents. It's also about sex and death. Then on March 15th, we had Mercury go in station retrograde, and this would have happened in your third house. Again, third house is about short distance, short travels. It's about the neighborhood. It's about your siblings. It's about cousins. And it's also about your community, your local community. It's about transportation. It's how we process information. And then on March 29th, as we get ready to wrap up the month, coming up the end of this week, we will have our first solar eclipse, and this will happen in the constellation of Aries. And this will be impacting you again, my friends, in your third house. And then on March 30th, we have Neptune go into Aries, and this will also be affecting your third house. And we have not seen Neptune in the constellation of Aries in our lifetime. So this Neptune will be in your third house, which deals with neighbors, siblings, transportation, and you'll have that Neptune there in Aries. Typically, Neptune stays in each constellation between 13 to 14 years. All right, my Aquarius friends, I wish you all the best. To my sun, moon, and risings, may your dreams come true. Get ready for an incredible time. Our chapters are all about to change in the next 3 to 6 months, but we will start seeing everything play out by this coming month. So if any of this resonates, please give me a like. If you know of anyone who would benefit from this, please share this video. And also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, thanks again for watching. I wish you all the best. All right, Pisces, sun, moon, and rising. On March 1st, 2025, Venus went into retrograde. And where this would have affected you would have been in your money house, the house that rules your money, your things, how you like to earn your income, the things that you like to buy. It also rules the area of our mouth, our teeth, our voice. And then on March 13th, we had our first lunar eclipse, and this would have affected you in the area of the seventh house. So I don't know if there was an issue that came up with your partner, with your business partner, with relationships, anything going on with the relationships. You might be questioning those things. Then on March 15th, Mercury went into retrograde, and that Mercury is causing you to rethink things. This would have affected you in the area of your second house. And again, questions about your money, your things, your possessions, teeth, your mouth, how we sound. And then on March 29th, we are getting ready as we end up getting ready to close out the month. March 29th, we'll have our first solar eclipse. And again, this will also affect you in the area of your house of money, things, possessions, etc. Then, as we close out the month, well, one day before we close out the month, on March 30th, Neptune will enter Aries, and it'll be there between 14, I believe 13 to 14 years, depending on how it retrogrades. And we have not seen it in the constellation of Aries ever in our lifetime. Get ready for a magical time, as this will affect the area of your money house. Dreams, hopes, and wishes can come true for many of us as we get ready for this Neptune transiting the constellation of Aries. All right, my Pisces sun, moon, and rising, I wish you all the best. If any of this resonated, please give me a like. If you know of anyone who would benefit, please share it. You can share this, send them a text, or invite them to come and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please do so now so that you can receive my next constellation zodiac report. And all right, thank you for watching. Y'all have a great day, great evening. All the best to y'all. Bye.